right, so hey everyone, Yolan Daniel here, your empowerment coach and image consultant. How's everyone doing today? It's great to be back with you guys again. Okay, so just want to say thank you for those of you who are tuning in and for those of you who will tune in. Appreciate the support. Go ahead and say hey if you're on here right now, or put a thumbs up if you're going to be seeing this a little later or at another day. But anyway, so today I want to talk about rising from the ashes of your past. For those of you who were not able to attend my event last week, I'm going to be covering a little bit of the topics that I spoke on there, and we just gonna have a little chat. But before I continue, little disclaimer: I'm going to be talking about personal events in my life, and this has no reflection on anyone who was involved in my life at the time. This is all about empowering you and showing how the things that I went through, how I was able to overcome them and become the person that I am today. So now that I have that out of the way, I just want to say, I just want for those of you who are looking to give yourself a little clap, a little pat on the back. You made it through today. You made it through this week. We made it through so far this year, and I know that there's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now. For those of you in the United States, we got a lot of issues happening right here, but I want to say thank God that we can empathize with what is going on and support, but we're also grateful to God that we are here today and we can have an impact. So, question: when you think about your life, you think about the things that you've been through, how do you look at yourself? What do you think about when you think about yourself? What names or titles do you, when you think about yourself, what do you say? Do you say, well, I am a mother, I am a wife, I am a spouse, I'm an employee, I'm a business owner, I'm whatever it is? What do you think about when you think about yourself? Okay. And who are you? You know, sometimes we give ourselves little labels, and like I said, you might say, oh, yeah, I'm a this or I'm a that, but is that really who you are? Okay, so we're going to explore that today. Okay, so I believe that there is a difference between having a role and a title and responsibilities, and that is very different than who we are as a person on the inside. And sometimes those things can get all mixed in together, and we have a little bit of identity crisis because sometimes we feel like, oh, I don't really know who I am. I'm doing all these things for all these other people, but when you stop and think about it, you're like, who am I really? Who is this person? Who is Yolande? And many times I had to stop and think about that because I was a wife, I was a student, I'm a daughter, I'm all these different things to all these different people. But who am I to me, right? So if you can identify with that, you know what? Raise your hand, put a thumbs up. Yeah. If you feel like, you know what? Sometimes I really don't know who am I. I'm fulfilling all these roles, but I don't know who I truly am. And I know for me, um, being someone who was divorced for a long time, I identified myself as a divorcee. I identified myself as someone who had different challenges and different difficulties in life. But again, those things were not me. Those are things that I experienced, but those things were not me, right? And you know, sometimes when you see a billboard, right, you look up at a billboard, what do you see? You see the product, right? Think about a billboard that you've seen maybe driving or walking down the street, You see a billboard, what do you see? You see the product that's being highlighted. But what you don't see, or you can barely read, are the little subtitles below, or the little explanations, the fine print. There you go. Hi, thanks for watching. Sometimes you can't even read the fine print. And what I have found is that the things that happen to us is that fine print. And we are the person, the whole total of who we are is the image on the billboard. But sometimes what happens is that we make the fine print the billboard. We make it big on the billboard. So you might say, oh, I'm a victim of divorce. I'm a victim of abuse. I'm a victim of a disease. I'm a victim of this. Oh, I'm a survivor of something. And we just highlight that. But those things are just the fine print of what makes us who we are. You might think about a product. They might say, oh, here's this beauty product. And you might look at the ingredients and you might see, oh, it's made up of this, it's made up of, a perfume, it's made up of a cream, it's made up, but it's all coming together to create that one product. So that product is not the perfume, it's not the cream, it's not the other ingredients in there, but it comprises of all those things. And the same thing with us. We have different experiences in life. We have different titles. We have different roles. We have different responsibilities. But those things just make up a part of who we are. It's not the final product. It's not the whole product. We are the whole product. So then, can anyone identify with that? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment if you identify with it. So we have to find out then who we are. So our past is not the sum total of who we are. We are not our past. Our past is a part of our experience, and it can shape who we are or who we become. Right? And so I don't want to belittle or put less importance on the things that we have been through, because we've all been through things and they are important. But the difference is, where do we put it? Do we highlight it on the billboard, or do we allow it to become a part of who we are, and then allow ourselves to show forth our personalities, the characteristics of who we are? Do we allow that to show forth? Or when people look at you, do they just see divorce, or do they just see abuse, or do they just see mother, or do they just see wife, or do they just see spouse, or employer, or employee? Do they just see only those things, or do they see the sum total of who you are as a person? Okay. And so I remember, a few years ago when I went through, like I said, my divorce, the ending of my first marriage, I was so distraught because I was thinking like, wow, who is going to ever want me? And this is where I was. Like I said, this is going to be a lot of personal sharing of some of the things I've been through in my life. So I was thinking, wow, who's going to want me? Here I am. I'm divorced. I don't have much to offer, because at that time of my life, I didn't have a career. I didn't have what I thought was important at the time, a college degree. And here I was struggling with infertility. So it's like, who is going to ever want me? And all I was focusing on was those little, those little titles, those little fine prints of my life. And I did not focus on who I was as a person. Anybody can identify? Can you identify with that? Just give me a thumbs up or like, or post a comment. And so and so for a long time I struggled with that. But now, I had to flip that and realize, that, hey, those were my experiences, but they're not who I am. It shaped my thinking, it shaped my character, but it's not who I am as a person. And so I just want to encourage you today, don't allow your past to determine who you are, or don't allow your personal responsibilities, your titles, your roles to cloud or be on the forefront of that billboard of who you are. Don't let that, be the first thing that people see. Let people see who you are as a person. And then you might be thinking, well, Yolande, how do I do that? I have so much stuff happening in my life. Sometimes it's hard. It's like, you don't know what happened to me, Yolande. You don't know what I went through, and it's so hard for me to move away from this. But I'm here to tell you that yes, you can. I understand. I may not know specifically what you went through, but I've been through a few things in my life, and I understand that, sometimes you can't get stuck in that place. You know, say stuck. Yeah, you can get stuck because I have been stuck. I was stuck for a long time, and I had to go through some processes in order for me to get unstuck. And it was not an easy process, but it can be done. So I want to encourage you that yes, you can get unstuck. You can um, remove from the billboard the fine print, that's in bold print. You can make it the fine print that makes up the ingredients of who you are as a whole person. So that's what I had to share with you today. Hit like or make a comment if you can. And also, this is just the first of one in a series. The next time I'm going to be talking about you can't escape the fire. Okay, so today we were talking about you are not your past, you are not your role, your roles, responsibilities, and titles. You're more than that. And next we're going to go and talk about the next time we meet. We're going to talk about you can't escape the fire. So all right. So I do have a free gift for you today. You can go to www.yofreegift.com. That's www.yofreegift.com. And also, next Thursday, I will be having a free seminar on the 3 P's of success. These are the things that I have learned the hard way in achieving success, and I want to share that with you so that you can go on and on my web page and on my Facebook page. You can click on the link, go to the workshops, and sign up for that free webinar. So thank you so much for looking, everyone. Have a great evening, and I'll see you again for the next installment of this series. Have a great night. Bye.